Heck yeah, brother. You're on the Mudford YouTube channel.
Welcome back everyone, Mudford here. I just wanted to show you my latest project now. I'll show you what followed me home today. So hang on a second. I'm just going to turn the camera around to what's on the trailer. You might be thinking, oh, it's just a Fox body Mustang. They're a dime a dozen. But this is a kind of a special Fox body Mustang. I got a call last night from my friend Jason, who's moving out of state, and he had this project car in his garage, in his back pole barn actually, and he had kind of forgotten about it, and he's going to be moving very soon. So he gave me an offer I couldn't resist on it. So we've got some work to do now. I'll give you a quick walk around to the car and tell you what we plan on doing. It has somewhat of a cage in it, and those are the electric fans for it. So we've got a roll bar, kind of, not really a roll cage, more of a roll bar, which is nice. You can see the exhaust exits right here. We've got long tube headers on it, and they are wrapped up under the car with thermal wrap, which is a good thing. Let's have a look under the hood now. This is the real wow factor with this car. Kind of a big engine in there. That is a 460 with nice heads on it. I think they're C.i.ds, which is 69 heads. I think this will be a fast car if I can get it all together. We have a little bit of an electrical problem, and actually right now the engine will not turn over. Try to find out what that is. Hopefully it doesn't involve pulling it out. I think we're going to have some fun videos hopefully coming up on getting this car running and maybe testing it out. We have a race in a few weeks up in Gladwin, Michigan at the airport. It's called Thunder on the Strip. So if I can get it running for that, we'll race it up there, which could be pretty fun. We're just not sure. I see some water setting on the intake, and I don't know if it's got some in the engine and then rusted, and that's what the problem is, why the engine won't turn over. I'm going to spray a whole bunch of PB Blaster in each of the cylinders and let it set overnight. And I'm going to try with the breaker bar again. I tried with the breaker bar a little bit, and it really didn't want to come out. And I'll try the breaker bar again in the morning after the PB Blaster is soaked and see if I can get it to turn over. I sprayed the PB Blaster in each cylinder days ago, and I've tried it a few times, and it's just not freeing up. So I guess what we're going to have to do is pull the motor out, which is going to be tricky because it's a 460 packed into a Fox body. So I've taken a few things out. It's got full length headers too, which doesn't help. So I'm just working on getting it out. We're going to get it on the stand hopefully today, and I'll show you what I find on it, how we end up fixing it. Everything I look at on this car, I keep finding good surprises of high quality parts. We'll find some really good parts when we tear that engine apart. Well, finally I got the 460 pulled out. It was a long night last night. I think it was well after 3 a.m. before I got this beast out of there. There is not a lot of clearance, and it would be tough enough under normal circumstances, but with the engine not spinning, I wasn't able to get the torque converter unbolted, so I had to try to slide it forward, and it was just a mess. It was a pain. Real pain was this bolt right here, because with the engine up here and the header right there, you just can't get to it because there's not any clearance for the firewall. What I ended up doing was putting a ratcheting wrench down there, and I could barely reach the handle, and it was really hard to hold on the bolt. So what I ended up doing was using a pair of vice grips This is what I had to do, is have the vice grips on it like this so I could reach down in there far enough and even have an angle on them. And then I had to just turn it, and it was real tough as it started getting loose to keep the ratchet working. The next thing I need to do is get the torque converter and the flywheel off and the inspection plate so that I can get it up on the engine stand and get working on it. I'm going to get this engine tore down now. Got it on the stand. And take a look at these. Some nice SVO roller rocker arms. They look brand new. The manly, some manly push rod guides. Everything looks brand new. Everything's in really good shape. I'm not really sure what the problem is, why this engine won't turn over, but hopefully it's something relatively easy, because this looks like a really nice engine. It'd be nice to have a really good race engine for as cheap as we got this. So I'm just going to continue to take everything apart. Hopefully I'll be able to tear this down today and get to where we can figure out what the problem is. I haven't seen anything terrible. Hopefully it's just a little bit of rust locking the rings up. Cylinders don't look terribly bad, but we're going to pop the bottom end off and see what we got down there. Everything looks okay. Must just be a little bit of rust in the cylinders locking the rings up. Just about got this engine tore apart. Got most of the pistons out. This one is still stuck in the bore. It's really a pain in the butt getting these out when they're stuck and you can't get the motor to turn over. There are 10 thousandths on the main bearings, so I'm going to go ahead and order the kit from Summit. It's 30 over 110, so I'll get that coming, and then hopefully I can get this motor back together again in a couple days. I mean, Summit should have them here either tomorrow or the next day, all the parts. So by then I'll have this tore apart, cleaned up, probably do some light polishing on the crankshaft and just clean everything else up and do the hone job. Just about got all the pistons out. This was definitely one of the ones that was stuck. You can see it's got quite a bit of rust on it. Should clean right up though. I've just got new rings coming for it. You can see I got the camshaft out, and you can see this one looks a little different. The bearing was kind of stuck on there. So we'll see. I did get it off. I destroyed the bearing. It went right in there. It doesn't look quite right. I'm not sure what happened, if it spun while the motor was running. We'll see. I'll get some new bearings coming and get the new bearings in. It's looking doubtful that I'll get this car racing on the 19th. Today is the 10th, so I've got 9 days, and you can see I've got a long ways to go. Once I got the pistons out, I'll show you what I did real quick. This is just some people call this a dangle ball hone, and I think these work great. They give you a great pattern on there. This is what I used just to clean a little bit of the rust up. They were already 30 over forged pistons. It doesn't look real bad. I was in a hurry. I didn't bother miking it. We're on a huge time crunch. So I just honed it. And it looks really good now. And we're going to have to call it good enough. So I'll show you what I did. I just sprayed a bunch of brake parts cleaner. Sprayed it on here. And then sprayed it while I was going, and that's it. Gives it a really good pattern. I'll show you that real quick. You can see it has a really good crosshatch pattern. I'm just going to go ahead now. I've got them all done. I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the block really good. I made sure I used lots of brake parts cleaner and air and blew everything out, because this is basically my last chance to get anything out of the engine that I don't want inside of it, because once I start putting parts in, I don't want to be blowing any more air or spraying any brake parts clean. I want to have it all done now. So I'm going to start, first thing I'm going to do is get the rear main seal in. I've got the bearing setting in. I've got some Lucas Oil engine assembly lube. I'm going to put that in. But first I'm going to get the rear main in. buttoned up, just about ready to put it back in. You can see I got the